Welcome, my friend, to Hello Main Street. This is where we talk about thought provoking tips, tricks, and ideas for fellow entrepreneurs just like you and me. I am your host, Monica Sanchez, and let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. We are going to be talking about the role of strategic planning in business success. Now, you may wonder why that has anything to do with business, but it's really important to important to take a look at the overview, and we will look at why small businesses need to have a strategic plan. So many businesses, when you're starting off, they may say, "This is what I want to do. This is always what I've wanted to do. I've wanted to have a restaurant." This is going to be our example for today, right? I've always wanted to have a restaurant. I've wanted to open one up. And I know that I love to cook food. Perfect. That's great. But most of us don't know that we have many multiple hats we have to wear when we start off, right? So we want to have a clear objective and then allocate resources effectively for ourselves as far as our business, right? So usually people will take a look at expenses and go, okay, great. I have this much money to do my expenses, but then they don't look at the rest, right? They may not look at what is the capital I'm going to need for the next 6 months to keep my business going while I am building and while I am growing my clientele. So that's why we may tend to see some businesses that will start off strong. They'll be open for a few months and then they tend to close. I tend to see this a lot with restaurants. Restaurants is a really tough business to get into. But there is ways that you can navigate the challenges and look at the long-term vision. So, an example, like I said, we're talking about restaurants today, and we want to take like a local eatery, right? Maybe a smaller eatery, and they want to be a well-established community in the hub of Yakima, right? So, then what would they have to do in order to take those steps? Well, one, they would want to take care of planning, right? Planning for what is it that they're going to serve, who is the clientele that they are going to market to, and then what is the need or want for that type of food. The other one is how can they expand their menu? Say that they only have a specific meal and that's really not a target market for food, so then they want to go ahead and they want to expand upon that. Well, they're going to need to get some feedback, and we'll dive into that a little bit more. But then also they're going to want to increase their customer satisfaction, right? Because if a customer is happy, they're going to tell more people are going to show up, and then they'll be expanding from that way, right? So word of mouth is always a great way to market and advertise your business. That beats any other type of marketing hands down for sure. And then maybe possibly opening a second location. I have seen that for a couple different businesses, and I see it especially for small businesses such as like um, a latte stand, right? Where they are doing espresso, coffee. They expand into other items. Maybe they have sweet treats they want to start offering now. So that is a great way for them to do that. Or if they do a special item, maybe it's a bagel or something along those lines that no one else will get or receive, only from that location. So, first tip that I have for you here is da, 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 we are looking at SWOT. And what is SWOT? As you can see right down below here: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So why would you want to take a look at that? We are wanting to look at, again, restaurants is our target today. So the strength. So how high a quality of food are you providing? Is it food that you are making from scratch? Or is it food that you're just buying from not fast food, but already a pre-made package, and then you're just deep frying it and then you're serving it? So think about that when you are going to be putting your menu together. And then what type of excellent customer service is it that you're going to provide? How are you going to stand out from the crowd, right? And then do you have a strong reputation in the community? Maybe you started off as a little taco truck, or, and from there you're like, great, now I want to have an established business. I want to have a brick and mortar location. Do you have a strong enough reputation that people will follow you from that food truck over into the restaurant part. Okay. So, what are some areas of weakness? Again, these are just examples, so you can write them down or you can listen to this again. Maybe it's limited seating capacity, right? So I have a favorite taco truck that I go down to on Nob Hill. And they started off, there was no seating whatsoever, right? You just went, you grabbed your taco, and then you left. And now they've expanded to now they have it where they have awning there. You can sit there and you can enjoy your meal and then you can leave, right? So they've expanded that by adding additional seating to their location. But maybe they have a lack of online presence because I never see them advertise. I just see them as I drive by, and that's pretty much it. And then how high of a staff turnover do they get, right? So think of those things when you're looking at areas of weakness. So what about opportunities? How can you expand your market, right? Maybe you want to go ahead and add like a delivery service. That is a great way to do that. Now, Uber Eats tends to help a lot of people. Grubhub, those are ways that, you would get incoming menu requests, right? Orders that you would have requested. Someone will come and pick it up for a fee and then deliver it to a client. That is one way that I know another restaurant in Tri-Cities, that's how they expanded during COVID, during 2020, was delivery service really was a boost for their business. And then what about capitalizing on local tourism? Just as I went on to the Sunday market, that is a great way to have a small business be able to be present and have a diverse group of people who are coming into the area. Maybe there's some locals there. Maybe there's some people that are traveling from out of the area. And that is a great way to like showcase your business and what you offer. So that is a great opportunity there. So you can always reach out to the downtown market for that opportunity. Maybe partnering with a local farm with fresh ingredients. Or what I've seen before as well is there is a lot of different microbrews that are here, and they will have somebody who has a food truck come and serve there at their location. Maybe it's a special event, or maybe they do it once a week. Maybe it's Taco Tuesday or something, right? And you come on down and you get to enjoy those meals. So that is a great way. Looking at partnerships is a wonderful opportunity. And the other one is, what are some threats to be thinking about? Now, food cost, as we know, since COVID has happened, it has increased tremendously. And I think that has been across the board for any industry as far as materials and supplies are concerned. So that could be definitely a threat to a food business. What about increased competition? We talk about this a lot, that there's a lot of food trucks out there, but especially more so with Mexican food, right? So how do you stand apart from your competition? So that is always going to be a threat. And then maybe there's one just right down the road versus there wasn't one before, right? And what about the fluctuating economy here in the area? As you know, when it gets cold, people are less likely to want to go out to a food truck and to purchase food to take home. That is always why it's helpful to have a brick and mortar, because then they can still come and enjoy what you offer, but it is indoors. So thinking about that, and then we tend to be more where we follow the harvest. So when we follow harvest, there's more people in the area during, like, say, March to November, right? And then people go away, snowbirds go away. And so those few months may be a little bit lacking. So you may have to figure out how to pick up or cover the cost for those different areas that you have. All right. So I think I tackled that one really well. And if there's anything else that you're like, hey, Monica, you missed this. What about this? That is always great. I would love to hear some feedback. So let's talk about the next one, which is down below, SMART goals. SMART goals are something that are specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, and they're relevant, and they're timely, right? There is always a time that is set with it. So again, restaurants, right? Something that would be specific would be to increase your online orders by 20%, right? Maybe that's launching a new website. And so that way you've set your goal to be more specific in that area to help you with deliveries. Something that could be measurable is to track those online orders, right? I think tracking where you are getting your clients is half the battle sometimes. And it is highly important because when you are tracking that, and then you know where you should be targeting your dollars, where you should be reaching out to your clients, and who it is that you are specifically serving. Then that way you can offer the information directly talking to them, right? You want to make it personal. Um, so website traffic, that is important to track, and then also delivery service, right? And how much are people using it? What are the times that they're using it? Maybe you need to add more people to that time shift if it gets busier to a certain peak period of time, right? Or not have somebody during a lull. So those are great ways to use those measurable outcomes. Something that's achievable. So make that realistic, right? Make the timeline realistic, make your milestones realistic, such as the website that we just discussed, or about a partnership agreement. A collaboration with another entity is always a good thing that you can set your sights for, and you can put that as something that can be achievable. All right. What about something that's relevant, right? So, something that's relevant is the online orders. And I'm going to keep kind of going down this road. And we want to broaden that customer base because when you can broaden that customer base, then you're going to get more people, right? And which means more to your bottom line. So, that's always a good thing. And then, so let's take a look at time bound, right? So, achieving an increase by 20% for online orders within the next 6 months. Now, that could be something specific with a time set to it. Now, what happens if you don't achieve that and you're like, I set all these goals and I didn't reach where I wanted, but you were probably pretty close to where you wanted to be. So I think that's really important for us to keep in mind is that when we are looking at these things, it's a bar where we're setting ourselves because if we didn't set that bar, then we are not helping our business to grow by not setting anything that's going to be achievable on our behalf, right? Some other things to keep in mind about with the SMART goals is how can you reduce your food waste? There's oftentimes when you have a lot of fresh products and maybe you only have so much time until it goes bad. So what would be that? What would that look like for you and your inventory for the next 3 months? That can also be an opportunity there for you. Because of course, always what we want to do is reduce our margins, right? We want to have, we want to have the biggest margins we can for our business because the higher the margin that we have, that means the more profit we're going to get, right? And so that's always really important. If we can reduce our costs, then we're going to put more money back in our pocket. That's the way I look at it. And then what about increasing your customer clientele, right? Maybe you want to set yourself a goal of 25% over the whole year. Maybe create like a loyalty program or let people know, hey, for this special offer, I'm only telling you, my special customers, about this upcoming thing that's going to be happening, right? People love to be in on the know. They love to be in that secret club. So making them feel special in that way is always a great opportunity because then they'll keep coming back and they'll want to see what else is going to make them feel special, right? And when we do business, right, it's not about us. It's always about our clients. So always thinking in that way, what's in it for them and why would they want to come to you? Okay. The other one we talked about was a second location. And maybe you've had an increase, and we've talked about, okay, you have a food truck. Now maybe you want a brick and mortar. Then that way you can do two things at once. You can still use that food truck, go out to different events, have those collaborations, all of that good stuff. And then you can have the brick and mortar for those down times as well. Maybe it's too hot outside, so people won't usually typically come over. Or if it's raining or snowing, they'd rather come indoors and give them an opportunity to still patron your business. All right. So the last one that I have for you here is taking action, right? Don't just listen to me. Really, take it to heart and go, you know what? I'm gonna dive into this. I'm gonna make it a little bit of a challenge for myself. So walk through these SMART goals for yourself. Tailor it to how you need it, and if it's going to be different for everybody, and that's okay. And it may fluctuate, it may change, and that's okay. But at least taking steps towards that is going to help you to get further ahead with your business. I hope this information was helpful for you. This is just a quick little tidbit I wanted to share with you. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. It's down below. I think I'm down this way. And go ahead, and here is my information. And then let me know, how did it go for you? If you are looking to make a connection, I'm here. Would love to talk with you further. Would love to collaborate. Collaboration is all where it's at. I really feel that from the bottom of my heart. And I appreciate you all for paying attention, for being here today. And I hope you do well with your business. And as always, we are better together. Thank you.